The conclusion to religion and spirituality. The term man-made refers to human-created system, ideology, or constructs that may not necessarily pertain to divine or spiritual realms. Spirituality, on the other hand, is a more subjective and personal experience that transcends organized religion. Transcends organized religion. It encompasses an individual's quest for meaning, purpose, and connection to the universe or a higher self. Spirituality often emphasizes personal growth, inner peace, and exploration of one's inner self rather than adherence to external doctrines or rituals. Dr. Claude Anderson and Dr. Henry Clark, made some observations that I'll talk about later. Unlike organized religion, spirituality recognizes the diversity of individual experience and belief, allowing for a more fluid and personal understanding of what it means to connect with the spiritual dimension. In summary, while religion provides structured systems of belief and community, man-made constructs serve to fulfill societal needs and human interactions. Spirituality is an intrinsic pursuit of meaning and connection that lies within the individual. Understanding these distinctions is crucial for appreciating multifaceted nature of human belief systems and the ways in which they influence our lives. Now, when they say man-made, man made them, and he shall benefit by them. What I mean by that is exactly what I said. A man does not make anything for nothing. He makes it so that it benefits him. I will leave that right there for right now. Now, Dr. Henry Clark, who has passed on, talked about religions being cults. In fact, he even said that, they could possibly be, in some instances, murder cults. Because what we do in the name of God, or in the name of a deity that we hold in high esteem, which we will kill our fellow man if he does not agree with what we think is right. Be freeman or bondservant. It is your choice. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You have been told a truth. You have your own decisions, but don't never say nobody didn't tell you. The benefits of Christianity on Africans in Africa, on Africans in America, and all over the world. First and foremost, the economic motivations behind the spread of Christianity among Africans in Americas cannot be overstated. European colonists recognized that the plantation economy, relying on the labor of enslaved individuals, was crucial to their wealth and prosperity. By converting Africans to Christianity, colonists aimed to instill a sense of moral obligation and loyalty toward their masters, thereby reinforcing a system that justified their exploitation. So you telling me that Christianity could justify the exploitation of a people who thought it was their moral obligation and loyalty to submit to their masters and to labor for free? The notion that enslaved individuals would be more compliant or docile if Christian Christianized served as a rationale for both the religious conversion and the maintenance of the status quo. This manipulation of religious belief was strategically employed to facilitate an environment conducive to uninterrupted free labor, thus maximizing profits for the European elite. Let's go back to church. Let's go back to religion. Moreover, Christianity served as a tool for social control. How can that be? They just want the best for us, right? Colonists viewed the conversion of Africans as a means of civilizing them, often framing it as a moral imperative under the guise of a benevolent mission by promoting the idea that Christianity brought enlightenment and salvation. Understand something. I've said it all before and I'll say it again. Africans already knew God. And the only way that a man can truly control you is with that belief you say and that faith that you talk about. Okay? Now, one of the things that most people don't realize is that this culture erasure was instrumental in establishing a hierarchy social order where Europeans positioned themselves as both benefactors and rulers. The expectation of submission to Christian values effectively translated into an expectation of submission to European authority, thus solidifying the power dynamics that underpin the institution of slavery. What does that all mean? You were complicit with your enslavement due to your faith and them playing on your morality. You thinking they're being somebody that you can trust. And when they came there as a wolf in sheep's clothing. In conclusion, Christianity on Africans and Americans was driven by a dual purpose, the economic desire for free labor and the need for social submission. While the rhetoric of salvation and enlightenment permeated the discourse surrounding this conversation, the underlying motives were deeply intertwined with the exploitative practices of colonialism. And we can tell you right now what colonialism will do to you. Just look at the black man and the African in America. Look at the black man and the African over in the West Indies, Jamaica, Barbados, Africa, wherever he's at. In America, by European colonizers, was a multifaceted process driven by the desire for economic gain and the need to justify their dominance. Through the lens of religious conversion and ideological justification, Europeans aimed to legitimize the enslavement and exploitation of African individuals. This complex interplay of faith and power not only facilitated the maintenance of a brutal system of labor, but also sought to erase the spiritual identities of those subjected to it. Why did you think that they had to erase the spiritual identity of those subjected to it? Number one, they needed you to be docile, to not fight back. And number two, they needed your labor for free. I just wanted to bring a couple of things out that you already know in your heart and in your spirit. And don't tell me you didn't. You know when you're sitting in a place, sometimes you sit in that place because you're used to going to that place. You crave attention, and you know sometimes the man is lying to you. You can read, black people are very intelligent. Just because they may not speak the same language has no bearing on their intelligence level. The subject of whether Europeans benefited from subjecting Africans to Christianity is a complex, multifaceted issue that warrants careful examination. The only reason why it's complex is because Europeans don't want to tell the truth. Black folks don't want to hear the truth. And they don't want to raise the critical questions about the motivations behind missionaries, Pope, and all the other people that were involved in this sadistic system. From a European perspective, Christianity was often justified as a civilizing mission aimed at uplifting African societies. Why in the world would you think somebody who had just come from Europe, experiencing the Black Plague, living in a house with animals, come over to a country that built civilizations, were rich, and had indoor plumbing? And I say indoor plumbing because the system that they use for getting water, for agriculture, and eliminating waste was on a level par to 2024 for that time period. Okay? The spread of Christianity played a significant role in legitimizing European dominance over African territories. By framing colonialism as a moral imperative to spread Christianity and civilization, Europeans were able to justify their imperial pursuits, thereby consolidating their economic and political interests. This allowed Europeans to extract resources and labor from African countries with relatively ease, further contributing to their own economic prosperity. There were no undeniable benefits that arose from the introduction of Christianity in African societies. Europeans derived benefits from subjecting Africans to Christianity, in which such benefits came at a significant cost to the African continent, to the Africans' cultural integrity, and to African social structures. And they still are doing it in 2024. We are still on a plantation, whether we are in Africa, whether we are in Barbados, whether we are in America, no matter where we are. The simple truth of the matter is we have a decision that we have to come to. Whether we will continue to live as they would like us to live, or whether we will live as freemen, whether we will think as freemen, whether we will feel as freemen, whether we will dictate our own realities, and understand something. Once somebody has control over someone or something for a long period of time, they think that they own it. And if you think I'm lying, look at the average marriage. Those people in that relationship, unless they have a great understanding of human nature and of themselves and their relationship, they think they own one another. And you know it and I know it. It's just like your boss at work. And I say boss, you can call him supervisor, manager. Most of y'all, wherever we go, we don't need a supervisor. All you need to do is tell somebody what to do. But if they see a group of Africans in a group, they're coming over there running. You know, they want to supervise everything that you do. That's plantation actions. Another thing is we have hurt ourselves in so many different ways because we dare not be free. We dare not upset things. But I am here to tell you today, you do what you will, but your actions have consequences. Because sometimes when you are enslaved, your children are enslaved, and you pass on your bad habits, your fears, and that cowardice to your family. Europeans, no matter where they go in the world, they think that they own the place. They walk, they talk, and act like they own it. But you were the first to own, and I'm not going to say own, because Black folks and indigenous people never thought that they owned the earth. They lived as best as they could in alignment with the universe and the earth and the way that this circle of life operates. But when you are dealing with somebody who doesn't care about that, you have to change. The hoods are off, the gloves are off, and now you're going to see for real what people of the 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s went through. You will see a harsher climate. But you can make things better by standing up for yourself. I wish you the very best. And when I say I love you, I mean that. Brother to brother, sister to sister. We have to love each other. That's what it's called for, and not just in no Bible. This is a spiritual thing. But understand me well. If my love is rejected, I will turn into the beast that you are.